Hi all, welcome to another day in the life of DevRel. Today I'll be creating a new repo for community calls, and by the time you see this repo will already be live at github.com/hedera-dev/hedera-com calls. And it looks something like this. It is based loosely on, or I should say inspired by, the Ethereum PM repo maintained by Tim Bako. What I'll be doing is writing the README file in Markdown, using the one from the PM repo as a starting point. Next, I'll create a GitHub issue template form config file. Since these are for meetings and people attending will be from all around the world, I'll be creating a customized link covering key time zones around the globe. That'll give us something that looks like this when you create a new issue. And I'll use that right away to create the very first GitHub issue for the next community call later this month. Let's begin. All right, so I've gone through this process and just wanted to do a recap. So I started a brand new Hedera community called Repo over here, and it's loosely based on the Ethereum PM one, and based on is quite a stretch actually. But I guess the idea is as quite similar. Basically, have a bunch of calls that are public and live streamed, but participants are encouraged to view in, and call in. And if they want to do so, they have to open up an issue. So the two most important things here are that we have this repo. And inside of this repo in the main README, we have a list of all previous meetings, right? And, it'll be in reverse chronological order. So 1 will be here, 2 will go above it when that happens, 3 will go above it, and so on and so forth. Date will be in UTC, and it's been made convenient, like anyone who clicks on that can just see, what time it is in these various time zones chosen for their distribution around the world. So UTC obviously, then US West, US East, London, Berlin, Dubai, Singapore, Sydney. So just going from west to east. And then the type. So this is something I added a new column, right? Because that's different from the way that the ETH-PM one is doing it. They have separate tables, but I thought it might be easier to have them all in one table. And then title will be inserted when that happens, and then agenda, notes, posts, recording, and these are all like placeholder links for the moment, right? Yeah. And then what is missing here is maybe, the rules about the agenda. And I think also we should probably have a code of conduct. So I've just asked the team to provide me with one, that we probably have already prepared, and we just can copy and paste. The other thing I do was, fiddle around with this, section, the .github/issue template, folder. And that requires two things. So a config.yml, which is like the top level config, and it just is used to disable, free-form issues, right? And so that the only way to submit an issue is to use one of the provided files, YML files, and this is the one that's been provided. So this is kind of rendering a generic YAML view, but I think it'll be easier to see it this way. So there's basically 3 fields that you need to fill in. Text area, which basically is freeform markdown, but with a suggestion for a date and time link. So you can just copy paste your UTC code and replace those 2 things. And then there's a stream, which will be obtained closer to the date. Then, the issue will just be updated. Then there's a drop down. And you can select the category of the call, technical versus non-technical. And then there's also another freeform markdown field with a suggestion of, using bullet points. It's primarily intended in the case of hits to be targeting, in the case of technical calls to be targeting hits. But then in the non-technical calls, you will have topics that do not have hits attached to them. So then that can be more freeform and less prescriptive about the format. And then finally, thanks for filling out the agenda. And so let's take a look at what that looks like. Go to issues, right? So this is a completed one. This is what it'll look like once it is completed, obviously with the exception of the live stream link, which is not present yet. And then this is what it looks like when you create one for the first time. So you create a new issue. There's only one option. There isn't a second option for freeform. Then you press get started, and then you get a field that looks like this. Add title, meeting details with these prompts, which you're expected to fill in Markdown, and then drop down, say non-technical, and then you can fill in hip numbers, etc. If it's or you delete them, etc. And then if you press submit new issue, then that just gets added to this list, right? And it'll look something similar to this. All right, that's it.